Hope you're doing well today. Appreciate you joining me. We are going to be thinking about when Joshua and Caleb, when they give a good report about the land. And today's hymn is the hymn, I Am Bound for the Promised Land. Same words as another well-known hymn, but this tune is not one, at least that I was familiar with. I am bound for the promised land.
On Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye to Canaan's fair and happy land where my possessions lie. I am bound for the promised land, promised land. I am bound for the promised land. Oh, who will come and go with me? I am bound for the promised land.
Perhaps you've heard that hymn before, but as I said, it was new to me. So now let's think about the account. It comes from the book of Numbers, in Numbers chapter 13, verse 1. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel. From each tribe of their fathers you shall send a man, every one a leader among them. My notice, they were to choose leaders from each tribe. Down at verse 17, then Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said to them, Go up this way into the south, and go up to the mountains, and see what the land is like, whether the people who dwell in it are strong or weak, few or many, whether the land they dwell in is whether the land they dwell in is good or bad, whether the cities they inhabit are like camps or strongholds, whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests there or not. Be of good courage, and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first ripe grapes. So they go up, and they investigate it for 40 days. They come back, they tell them, We went to the land where you sent us. It truly flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. They brought back a huge cluster of grapes. Nevertheless, the people who dwell in the land are strong. The cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, the Hittites, the Jebusites, the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan. Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome it. But the men who had gone up with him said, We're not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they gave the children of Israel a bad report of the land which they had spied out, saying, The land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature. Chapter 14, as they lift up their voice and cry, they complain against Moses and Aaron. Oh, if only we had died in the wilderness. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt? Let's select a leader, verse 4, and go back. Moses and Aaron fall on their face. Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes, and they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, The land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord delights in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their protection has departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them. And all the congregation said to stone them with stones. To think about Joshua and Caleb, one of the things is they're realists. I would suggest, let me explain. And they say, listen, because Moses said, go up, spy out the land, see whether or not it's good or bad. See what the people are like. See what the landscape is like. Are there forests? What is it like? And bring back some of the fruit. And they go up there, and to the other 10 spies' credit, they say it is a land flowing with milk and honey. and Caleb and Joshua there at the tail end of where we read said, the land we passed through to spy out, it is an exceedingly good land. That's the reality. They're realists. It's good. But also, and to back up a little bit into chapter 13, you might notice Caleb sees what's happening, and Caleb cuts it off. You know, the people, they start speaking about what they've seen. And I don't think any of that, from verse 27 down through verse 29, that's not a lie. Caleb quiets the people. He cuts it off. He sees the way it's headed, or he's just trying to encourage them, which Moses also told them to take courage. And Caleb says, let's go up at once and take possession. We are well able to overcome it. He's not saying that there's not going to be obstacles. He's not saying, it's like they saw the giants. They saw them. Now, I think where you start getting into fiction is when in verse 32, and that's why I put it in purple there, they gave the children of Israel a bad report, and they said, oh, well, you know, it's a land that devours its inhabitants. And that part, that starts getting into fiction, perhaps. But regardless, Joshua and Caleb, they're realists. They don't say we're not going to have to fight. Caleb says we'll be able to overcome it. It's a good land. That's the reality. It's a land flowing with milk and honey. Now, are there strong people there? Yes. Moses had said, are they strongholds or are they camps? They come back, well, they're strongholds. Okay. Caleb says, we're able to overcome it. You remember what Caleb's going to do some 40 plus years later, and he's going to ask for his inheritance, and there are going to be giants on that mountain, and he's going to deal with them. He's not denying that there are obstacles. Yes, there are obstacles, but you'll be able to overcome. And Joshua at the end, of course, says, if the Lord delights in us, there in verse 8, he will bring us into this land and he will give it to us. Into this land which flows with milk and honey. That's the reality. That yes, the Lord promised us a land flowing with milk and honey, or promised us a good land. It has come to pass. The land is good. Are there going to be obstacles? Yes, we will be able to overcome. How? This is the reality. If the Lord is with us. If the Lord is not with us, we won't be able to overcome anything. But if the Lord is with us, we will be able to overcome. That's the reality. Appreciate you as we think about obstacles in our own life, as we ourselves are bound, marching towards the promised land, seeking those who will come with us, because the Lord's promises are sure, and we depend on him. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.